Ahoy, mateys! 'Tis I, Captain Horatio Honeyflakes, and I be here to tell you about me newest crowdfunding campaign. The adventures continue with me crew, the Mighty Mascots, in issues 7, 8, and 9. Just focus your looking glass on the amazing artwork of Ian Warianto and Anton Bondi. Me crew, the Mighty Mascots, are up against some scurvy scallywags, and we need ye help to defeat them. There be a bounty of exclusive treasure, only available here, where X marks the spot. I spy a huge coffer of bonuses and stretch goals on the horizon. Then please consider pledging so we can continue these adventures with the weirdest crew I ever had the pleasure of sailing with. Mascots Unleash!
Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Indie Comics Relay. I'm your host, Keith Gleason, creator of the Mighty Mascots. With me, as always, Johnny C., creator of Surrounded by Death, and Sartana. What is up, my friend? I feel like I have not talked to you in weeks.
I know, it feels nice to be home. Let's just say that.
I was going to tell Jared backstage that we need to have an intervention with you about these conventions. Dude, you had, what was it, a 4-week run at conventions?
Yeah, 4 shows in 4 weeks.
4 weekends, like in a row. Craziness, dude.
So
craziness.
Three of those were out-of-state shows, so I was traveling
oh my God.
far from home. I spent a lot of time
I'm getting COVID listening to you. I mean, well, you started at my show, Plastic City, on July 16th, right? The next weekend was Terrificon? No.
San Diego.
San Diego. You were in San Diego that week. That was a 5-day convention.
Yep.
Then you flew in and you went right to Terrificon, right?
Yeah,
right
so I landed Thursday morning and then drove to Connecticut.
Yeah.
Set up for Terrificon, came and did the show, and then did that weekend. So I remember I checked in the last episode we did.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
And then the weekend after that was Chicago.
My God, dude.
Yeah. And all shows were down financially over last year. I would have never.
All of them? Every single one?
Every single one. The best show this year for me was Wicked.
Really?
Yeah.
Actually, that was a really good show for us as well.
Really good shows at the beginning of the year before a lot of the shit hit the fan financially with the inflation and with gas prices and things.
Yeah.
So I feel like this string of shows, this month long, like July basically, was just a real hard time to make money at shows. And I saw, professionals that were I consider greater than I call it quits. You know what I mean?
Wow.
So it was people who we've had on the show, just called it quits at conventions this past month, and it's just one of those things,
Yeah, I mean, I'm seeing it a little bit, definitely. Like like my Terrificon numbers were definitely down. It didn't help, like the shenanigans on Friday.
Yeah,
I made a video about my
musical chairs or musical tables.
Yeah. That was a first for me at a convention, let me tell you. But I made a video earlier this week, like a Terrificon after-con report, and I talked about it a little bit. I was nice about it, though. I was, I didn't really rip anything about it, because I do like that show. I really do. I just...
Terrificon is a very good show. The funniest thing, my biggest takeaway, is what you said specifically about, I got moved to the creator section. And I think even as a creator, I feel like I'd feel justified being next to Robert Venditti. You know what I mean? But then that actually was a detractor for you. You were kind of
definitely
the small fish in the big pond. You know what I mean? So
that's exactly what happened.
That's so eye-opening, because you'd think at that point, like, I'm with all these other massive creators. You kind of have this sense of like, I feel accomplished here. But you're really just kind of just a smaller fish now. And it makes it kind of you kind of walk in the shadow a little bit, so to speak.
Definitely. And and that show really is, after all these years, I think I kind of figured out why profits are always like a roller coaster there. It really is about where you're placed and how people see you, and it definitely, that makes a huge difference at the show. I love to pick Jared's brain about it too, because I know he was there.
For sure.
But yeah, we'll bring those guys in shortly. Slight change on the guest tonight. Like, we were supposed to have JD Rosario from Unstoppable Comics tonight. I don't know what happened. I booked him months and months ago, and I emailed him this weekend and said, hey, confirming this week, and never heard back from him. So I don't know what happened there. But
hoping he's okay. That's all I can say.
Maybe he'll come on in the future. Who knows? But our good friend Julius Freeman is stepping in his place tonight. Who we haven't seen Julius in a while.
Dragon, one of my favorite books.
Yeah, you often talk about it quite a bit. So and I agree. I think it was one of my favorites that I've gotten from an Indiegogo campaign in a long time. So yeah, definitely. I love those when someone can do the street level hero just right, like, and it has like a good like character arc and everything. So definitely that was a good one. And I already backed his newest one. So we'll
I've yet to do that, but
we'll play it here.
Back yours too, Keith.
I know, man. I appreciate that. It's like, but this is going back to, I think, what we were talking about with the inflation thing. Like normally last campaign, I think I was funded within a week or two. Now it's like a steady like fight every day for like one or two backers. It's interesting,
Yeah,
it's strange times we live in now.
It's very tough. I'd like to actually get into it with our two guests based upon how their campaigns are doing.
Yeah, definitely. I agree. First thing I want to do is let's look at my campaign. We'll get my promos out of the way. Then we'll say hello to the audiences, and we'll bring everybody in right after that. So let me bring it up here real quick. I just want to show it off. I'm not going to play the video since we already played the video at the beginning of the show. It's in the countdown now. So I launched this last Thursday, Johnny, on the Alterna channel. And,
I recall. Yep, I was first day of
start
for me.
What's up? Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we had a great start, and currently at 65%, which is pretty good. I definitely think I'm gonna hit. I still could do another 30 days after this if I want, so I should hit no problem. But it's like you kind of want to get hit the goal and move on to other things. You know how stressful it is. You ran
just get your stretch goals lined up. Just in case when they're ready to go. Boom, you can drop them.
Oh, yeah, I already have the first one ready to go. I'll show you two as we go down. I also want to show you, did you get to see Ryan Santos' cover yet?
No, actually, I didn't. Yeah, no. Ryan Santos, he did my trading cards. Love that guy. And does excellent work.
I forget on your cards, did he do full painted?
Painted, yeah.
Yeah, he did a full painted cover, and like, oh my God! Like, wait till you see how he painted Honey Flakes. So, like, you just want to cuddle him, Like, you just. So here's the regular covers for 7, 8, and 9. Very excited about these issues. We got a kaiju battle coming up. We got a whodunit kind of coming up. And then
love that cover right there.
Which one? This one?
Yep.
Oh, the Steranko homage. Yeah, definitely. Yep. Great stuff.
And the next one too with the kaiju.
Yeah, definitely. This one, I love this. This one's great. I can't wait to get to these issues. It's going to be really cool. But here's some of the character designs, and then let's get into there's a couple pages, too, that I put up from issue 7 here, completed pages. And then here are the variants. So here's the final variant for Steve Mardo's beautiful cover. Do you know
awesome.
Steve?
Look at Boxer Bear.
Do you know Steve Mardo, John?
I don't think I've ever met him personally.
He's usually around the con scene around here. He's a really nice guy, really good dude. I was next to him earlier this year at one of those small VFW shows, and that's how this cover came about. We just started talking, and I liked him a lot. And I said, Steve, how much to do a cover? And he did it for me. So
yeah, man, that's the way to do it.
This would make a great print.
Connecting people.
Yeah, definitely. And I think this will make a great print, too, if I ever decide to do prints,
For sure.
And now here's Ryan's cover.
Whoa, look at that.
Isn't that amazing?
It's got the Kingdom Come kind of.
Yeah, that's what he was going for.
Yeah,
he told me that he was going for like an Alex Ross thing. So
yeah, oh, that's great. Look at Brewster McPunch. Yeah. Oh, it's so good.
Doesn't Honey Flakes look cuddly there? Like it looks like a very cuddly, pirate.
Yeah, but
really
also
impressed with his work. Like my jaw dropped when he sent this to me, and I love it. He's doing he's going to be at Fan Expo this weekend. He said he's going to print out some mini posters to hand out to people. So you guys could get a mini poster of this if you're at Fan Expo this weekend.
Tell him to put a little QR code on there. That way it goes to the
I
page.
should do that. I should see if he could put a QR code on there.
Yeah, for sure. And if anybody has an extra pass to Fan Expo this weekend, holler at Johnny.
All right, yeah, I'm gonna hit up Ryan. If he hasn't printed them yet, I may have him do that. If not, I'll just have him mention the campaign at least.
Yeah.
And then this is the 9th. This cover is by my old classmate at Hubert School, Victor Gadaman. He is works in advertising and storyboarding. And I just hit him up out of the blue to see if he was available for a cover, and he was.
Nice.
That's what he came up with. Amazing
Looks
job.
great, man.
Yeah, so these are the 3 variants for this campaign. And then I just want to show you real quick, here's some of the perks that are available. But also, this is the first stretch goal. If we hit it, everyone gets a Honey Flakes eye patch.
Awesome.
Too. So I thought that would be a lot of fun to throw in people's, perk pile,
Yeah, for sure. It shoots flat too, which is nice.
Yes, exactly. That's
you can fuck with that.
Word of advice for everybody doing campaigns out there: look for flat items. It's a lot easier on your shipping, So check that out. And out of the perks, I recommend the $50 one, which I'll show right here. You get a ton of stuff. You get the 3 issues, the 3 variants, 3 mini prints, a button, a bumper sticker, and an embroidered patch for $50. And you get
deal.
Everything that gets unlocked on the stretch goals as well. So
that's a bargain.
Yeah, definitely. I tried to price it out so that it was really, affordable for people. And also, I'll sign everything on there that can be signed. So
no cereal box this time, huh?
Well, I do have it, but as an add-on. Yeah, you can add it on, and I think it's on the full. There's right here. There's the whole breakfast where you can get everything, and it has it in there. So
nice.
But you can add it on and check out if you want. So that's available there.
Sweet.
But yeah, I'm really happy. With the campaign so far, and yeah. So if you guys haven't backed it yet, every little bit helps. We're 65%, so if we can just get that next 35%, hit the goal, then I can sleep at night, so.
Well, you're competing with our next 2 guests.
I know. But that's what's great about this show, though. We're helping each other.
We're
rather
supportive.
Than
we're not competitive in that regard.
Exactly. Yeah. Let me say hello to the chat, and then we'll bring our guest in tonight. So let's see. We got, of course, my lovely wife, Amy's Birdhouse, with us as always. We got Johnny C in the chat. I'm
everywhere.
Yeah, everywhere. We got our good pal Dr. Mask from. Did you get to see him at Terrificon in Plastic City?
Yes, I did. I did.
He's such a good dude. Thanks, Dr. Mass, for joining us as always.
Thanks for swinging by.
He actually he hired Amy to do a couple coloring jobs while we were at Terrificon, so that was cool. She's made a little extra scratch with her Copic markers.
Oh, and Tom Frank came by to see me at San Diego.
Oh, nice. Oh, that's great. That's really cool. I figured he would forget, but that's great.
No, he came by, dropped off one of the books. I can't wait to read it.
Oh, awesome. That's great. That's good. I'm glad he was there. Yeah, he's such a good dude, isn't he? I like Tom Frank a lot. Let me see. Amy said Johnny C is back from his world tour.
Or maybe just U.S. tour. I mean, I don't know.
U.S. tour. Right?
Thank God to be home, though. I'm so glad to be home.
Right? I mean, you need to crash for a week,
Oh, for real. I feel like I'm still catching up on sleep. But I also don't want to sound like I'm complaining because I'm very grateful to be able to do what I can do. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Adam Warlock says Johnny C, the 2022 World Tour, right? That's great. My wife said they weren't just out of state shows; they were all over the country, and they were huge cons. Yeah, that's true. That's true. You were at like 3 of the biggest ones. Well, actually, Plastic City's fairly big too. You know, I don't mean to discount our show, but
no, for sure. But the funny thing, it's a big show when you're hearing about it at the other one you're at. So, like at C2E2, I heard people mention Terrificon.
Really?
So it's like, so it's like Terrificon's growing to where it's one of those bigger, more like recognized shows.
Now, if you start hearing about Plastic City yet, though, that'll be
I know, right? It's because I'm going to bring it up more often.
Right. Wow. Dr. Mass said Road Warrior Johnny. Yeah, I like that.
That's funny that you say that because I literally compared myself to Master Blaster today.
Yeah, that's great.
Don't harm him. He has the mind of a child.
Yeah, right. Adam Warlock says, who is Johnny's opening act on this leg of the tour? Do you have an opening act, Johnny?
Keith Gleason and the Glee Tone.
The Mighty Mascots. Hey, Jason Lennox, our good buddy. Are you seeing shows? Are that bad now for sales? Yeah, I think lately, right? The last couple of months, but before that, things were pretty good.
Wicked made me think we were going to have a good year. And then this past July, just boom, 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 one after the other, I consistently noticed a decrease in last year's
the last couple months. Yeah, same. Yeah, so, the only one I had a really good show was at that Keen one. It was a small snake in the grass show, but I think that was like kind of like a fluke. You know what I mean? It just wasn't like representative of everything going on.
It was to scale. If you think about it, okay, you're at a smaller show. It's sectioned off. People don't have to travel too far to go to it. It's free or next to nothing to get into. So that translates, right? So, but when you're looking at these bigger shows that I've done, that was harder. That was a lot tougher, Oh, yeah. And it's just because you're also competing with ticket price and celebrity
stuff, yeah.
and all that.
None of that's going down in price.
Yep.
Harry said con profits this year may be like Ric Flair's last match, but they'll be back.
Yes.
And what did he say? I'll be at Fan Expo on Sunday. Are you guys going? No, I'm not.
Only if I can score a wristband, Harry. That's it. I'm not going to pay to go to that show.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. What did he say? Still want figural plastic spoons? Yeah, you mentioned that too, Johnny, like something like that, I'm thinking about it. Adam Warwick, I'll probably be back at least 2 more times. Covers look awesome. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Appreciate you doing that. Jason Lennox, easier to listen than be on the show. Greetings, Indie Comics. Thanks, Jason. Good to hear from you,
Jason.
Buddy. It's been a little while. Dr. Mass said, go ahead.
I was just going to say postscript on, having a string of tough shows. The best thing to do in that scenario is just to remember to have a quality conversation with the people you're talking to, because it really translates when if you're having a bad show and you're not, and that's coming out and you're putting that out there, that vibe out there, it translates. So, even if you're doing bad, you want to make it look like you're doing good. You really got
negative brings negative, So
right,
definitely. You always kind of want to keep your head in a positive place,
even
if the world's falling apart around you.
Right. I tell the truth for the sake of other creators to kind of understand, but you really want to keep a very positive tone, a positive image, even if you're having a bad show. It's not a good look otherwise.
No, but you telling the truth is helpful rather than people lying about how their show was, So
those $1,000 shows.
Yeah, we're almost through our comments here. So, Amy, Dr. Mass said Amy needs a colorist for hire sign out for the cons. Yeah, definitely. That could be a little side hustle for Amy. Roger Morocco said, I send my love out to Johnny C in Plastic City, Keith. COVID 2022. Yeah, that's true. I haven't heard any outbreaks, though. Oh, thanks, Dr. Mass. I do enjoy coloring work. Yeah, perfect. And then let me see. We're almost through. Let's see. We got more. Are the Gleastones puppets like the Chuck E. Cheese band?
100%.
Yeah, 100%. Definitely.
And then it goes Five Nights at Freddy's on you.
Yeah, right. Yes, and the Honey Flakes puppet joins in. Yeah, that's perfect. Awesome. Yeah, well, we've got a pretty stacked chat tonight, which is great. I mean, normally,
thanks everybody for watching.
Yeah, there's a ton of streams happening tonight, so it's great that everybody's here. It's awesome. So, without further ado, let's bring in our whole entire panel in tonight. Let's start with both returning guests. So let's start with Jared Brown. What's up, buddy?
Hey,
thanks for joining us.
Thank
Sorry
you
for the long wait. You know, me and Johnny, we got diarrhea of the mouth here.
No, not a problem at all. I enjoy listening to it.
The last episode when I was in my hotel room.
Yeah. Yes, I did. That was fun.
Hang on, I got to pop on the show real quick. I turn around and he's like zonked out.
I was so tired that night.
Oh my God, yeah.
He kept waking me up laughing. So
exhausting experience. And then finally, welcome back to the show. Been a while, at least a year or so. Julius Freeman, what's up, buddy?
What's up, dude? How you guys doing?
That's
up,
awesome.
man?
Julius from the old days, like in our
old
first
days,
6 months of broadcasting, I think, when we were absolutely knew didn't know anything we were doing right, So
it was still fun. It was still a great show.
It was fun.
Sure.
And we always try to. The good thing about me and Johnny is like we can get people talking about everything, and it's like it's great. So that's always been the fun part.
When people jive with us, they really jive with us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Before we get into comic, yeah, definitely. I'm glad you were able to jump in tonight. It's great, finally have you back.
It was great to be back. I can't wait. I'm excited.
Yeah, definitely. Before we start mixing it up about comics and crowdfunders, I know Jared's done conventions. Have you done any conventions lately?
I have not, man. I should. I should start.
Well,
Don't start now.
Yeah.
Give it some time. Wait for gas prices to come down.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I think that's gonna have to wait for that one. But I did make a promise to myself about right before the shit hit the fan. I told myself I was not gonna go to another convention until I had a table set up. So
perfect.
That's a goal of mine. Once things start getting, like you're talking about, prices being up high and all that. So hopefully, God willing, if there is a chance where the prices do go down, more than likely we'll get a table and set up and start hustling, man. Because I know those cons. That's the key. That's the key factor.
Yeah, well,
in finding some success.
I find it's good to have your foot in both areas. Like you should have a strong presence online, but also have your foot in like the physical, like because there's a lot of people that, everybody's online. No one, there's so much noise out there that sometimes the best way to cut through it is actually be at a convention and talk to somebody as they're walking by. Yeah,
absolutely.
So I think it's
I'm ready,
key
man.
to have both.
I'm ready to be that Mexican seller. Like, oh yeah, okay, they're gonna come. You want to come? Here you go.
Because when you're online, you can't actually physically put a book in somebody's hand.
Yeah,
exactly.
And that makes a big difference in the sales process.
Huge.
I agree.
It is
Jared,
nice to sit there and connect with people. They come up to the table, you get to chat, you get to find out a little bit about them. It's a nice time.
Yeah, I was gonna say, has your experiences with conventions been about the same? Like,
no, like Saratoga, I think it's more like it depends on where you're at, and I've noticed like Saratoga has been shifting more anime over the last
actually,
couple...
that was a strong show too. I gotta say, like, had I not had as many expenses as I did, that would have been a good show. Like,
it was close. It was hairline. Like, it was the point where, like, I didn't look at it and go, "Oh, never going back." Like, I did fine. I did pretty well.
That's good.
And you did. Oh, go ahead. Yeah.
No, I was just gonna say. So one of the things to keep in mind about Saratoga, and I like to call it the Jay Moore's effect, in the sense that when you're there consistently in the same spot, you build a following at that show.
Right.
And that's where, and if you keep bringing different things, or like the hottest thing that season, that flavor of the month, you can do really well at that show. It's just kind of understanding the game. You got to game that show a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yep.
That goes back to the visibility thing I was saying about Terrificon. But if you have an established spot, that really works out.
Yeah, Terrificon was real good. That was only my second time there. And for the most part, like flow, everything. I mean, we saw quite a few people come through, met all kinds, and it just, the days varied. It just depends on what people are in there. Most most that stop at the table, you say, hey, who are you looking for? You look for anything specific? No, it's just whatever catches my eye. And that's, I think, sometimes what everyone's doing. They're just out looking for whatever they think is cool, and they're going to grab it. So,
yeah, that's that's one thing I love about Terrificon. And if anybody goes back and watches on my channel, I did a Terrificon AfterCon report. I did talk about my favorite thing about that show is walking around and getting people's indie books, and like discovering new voices, new books that look really cool. Like I think this weekend I'm going to do a video on just all the books I got and just kind of highlight them there, on the channel and stuff. But that's one of the reasons I like Terrificon a lot, because any other show that's not like most Comic-Con, let's face it, most Comic-Cons aren't comic conventions, they're pop culture shows, and it's harder to find books like creative voices and indie books at shows like that, so that's why I like Terrificon a lot. So but yeah, no, I forget, Julius, what part of the country are you in?
I'm in Southern California.
Oh, okay. So yeah, there's a bunch of shows there.
There's still a good amount. I know there's some in the surrounding cities, like Riverside County has one, I think. Anaheim, of course, the WonderCon.
You would be to try to find like the one dayers and
that's my plan. That's my plan, is to start there, start small.
Yeah,
and
get your show legs back.
I'm gonna suggest against that. I'm gonna say hit WonderCon, bro. Lace up the gloves and hit WonderCon, bro, and do it as hard as you can.
He's going in full spray.
Dude,
You got to go big or go home, right?
Yeah. No, for real, bro. I think that WonderCon, you would absolutely kill there. If you had a couple of really awesome prints, you bring your books, you bring Ghetto Dragon, you do a really cool Ghetto Dragon print, dude. And you maybe a couple of whatever the other ones, do a Deadpool or whatever. I think if you sign up for WonderCon, man, you would do awesome there.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna do it. So it's in April, right? April every year.
Yeah, I think so. I haven't done it yet. I'm looking forward to doing that show.
2023 is gonna be the year Julius Freeman is gonna blaze.
Yes. Yeah, love hearing that, man. Love hearing that. Awesome. All right. Dude. Yeah. So. I haven't had either of you guys on the show for a while, and like I know we always start the discussion off with like what got you, what books or movies or TV shows got you into comics. I can't remember either of yours from the previous show, so so why don't we start there again? Like maybe start with Julius, and then we'll go to Jared.
Sure, yeah. Man, comic books. I've been reading comic books since I was 12 years old. My cousin of mine, when I was about 11, brought over Spawn #1 to the house, and I remember thinking, "What is this? What is this? Is this a coloring book? I don't know what it is." And he told me, "No, it's a comic book. It's a comic book." And he told me, and I remember I was looking through it, like carelessly, and he's like, "Oh, you got to be careful with that, cause that's the first issue." of the series. And I was like, oh, okay, sorry, So he taught me like the proper etiquette of how to read a comic book without bending it, in the corners and whatnot. And after that, I didn't know.
Was your mind blown when you looked at? I mean,
the
like
artwork
to start
was,
with like Todd McFarlane.
Yeah. I was like, what is Spawn? What is a Spawn? Like what? And then the cover, when he was
he's like
green hand, the green going
down.
hand,
Yeah.
The detail. And so he didn't tell me the details in terms of like where he got it from. He just told me it was the first issue, and then it was until I was 12 or 13 when I saw a comic book shop when my dad took me and my siblings for back to school shopping, and there was a comic book shop there, and I saw all the posters, and I was like, oh, I gotta come back. And so
right.
I took the bus, to the comic book shop, entered, and after that, I was hooked.
That's awesome.
Postscript on Spawn #1's cover, it was literally Spider-Man, but more dangerous. Like, from young eyes, you're like, wait a minute, that's like a Spider-Man pose.
Yeah,
this guy was way more dangerous than Spider-Man.
Or Venom.
But it was
way
also
more
a
dangerous.
turning point in comics too, where like all those Image guys made like comic books like rock and roll. Like, it was
dude,
cool
definitely.
to be into comics at that point.
Absolutely.
That was like the 90s, like right there was like the turning point for everything, you know.
Was it two of those guys spent every weekend at the Playboy Mansion that first year? I think they all made like $1 million.
Oh, I believe it.
I don't know if it was Silvestri, and I can't remember who the other one was.
Was
but
it Liefeld? Probably
No,
Liefeld.
it wasn't Liefeld.
Liefeld was on Gene commercials for, you know,
yeah.
which was like reserved for like celebrities. And
yeah.
Somehow in a penthouse every month, every weekend. I guess. Yeah, it's nuts.
That's amazing. Yeah, and like to see, I mean, all those guys are still around, like still kicking ass in this industry, you know. Although I wish Jim Lee would draw a little more instead of running like DC, which is kind of falling apart, you know. Maybe we'll see him draw more because there's rumors that DC's like going away very soon.
Yeah, there's some.
I mean, I don't think they're gonna go away as much as just reformat.
And that's what's gonna happen. I think they're not gonna get rid of the IPs. They're probably gonna license them out to other people.
Right.
The fact that they took comics off of the DC Comics brand, is kind of concerning, you know.
Now let me ask you guys a question. Who do you think should license or get that license? Who do you think is the right?
Get the license of DC stuff?
Who do you think is the right person to get those?
Right person or right studio or
Paramount.
No, talking comic wise.
Oh, comics. I'm sorry. Like, got you. I thought you meant like if they're gonna license out their characters, like the way Marvel did to say.
Oh right, no.
Oh god, that's been a nightmare collecting them back since.
Yeah, I don't know if I would give it to like any of the Image guys.
I think Robert Kirkman will probably do a good job.
That would be an interesting choice. Yeah, definitely.
Comic creators who actually love the source, love the stuff, and they want to bring it back to where, because Kirkman's always done a great job.
Companies, I don't know who I would hand that to. I don't know.
You never know. They might like reach their hand into like the indie press and look at like one of the mid-tier guys or something like that, or they could look at where some of the older guys ended up, and approach that. I wouldn't be surprised if something like AWA takes
about this. Frank Miller presents.
Yeah, that's another good choice.
Adam Warlock said Frank Miller presents.
Frank Miller presents. That's brilliant.
That would be interesting. AWA would be a good choice. Although the only thing I'd be worried about that is that's Axel Alonso, right?
Yeah.
The company.
Yeah.
So I'm like I would be concerned with that just going back to the norm of like, because wasn't he used to be one of the head editors at DC or Marvel?
He was
years
Marvel,
ago,
I believe, wasn't
he? Yeah, right. And I figured if you hand it to him, it'll probably just go back to status quo. And almost like you want somebody to shake it up the way the Image guys did in the 90s,
Yep.
to like take like Batman and kind of breathe new life into it.
Well, look at Sean Gordon Murphy right now doing the White Knight series for Batman. Right. That thing has been just brilliant. Love it. It's beautiful book, beautiful story. It's a lot of fun. It doesn't mess with a lot of continuity. It just borrows and creates something new with it. It's just, I absolutely love those books right now.
The sad thing is it gets a little lost in all of the shuffle, though, unfortunately, right?
Yeah.
That's the problem, right? There's so much stuff out, and it's like hard to stand out. Plus, you don't hear about like remember when like somebody big like that would do a comic and it would be huge news, and you don't even see that anymore. Like I went through my like I still order comics through like DCBS, and I go through the Diamonds catalog once a month now, and there's a book coming out written by Bruce Campbell, DC Comics. He's going to be doing Sergeant Rock fighting zombies.
Nice.
And I'm like, how is this not major news? And it's him and Gary Frank doing covers, and I think Eduardo Rizzo from 100 Bullets. I'm like, 10 years ago, this would be like the number one news on every comic website, and you don't even hear a peep about it. I mean, it's like Bruce Campbell, for God's sake, Well,
they're pushing the TV shows and the movies now. It's more marketable.
But isn't that crazy? Like, doesn't that sound like an amazing book?
Yeah.
Where's Bleeding Cool when you need them, right?
Yeah. Right. Exactly. It's like I can't
Absolutely.
I can't believe that has not made a big noise, at all in the industry. So
and Bruce is a sellout show everywhere he goes. It's like impossible to get into see him. So there's a
and to have him write comics,
and
write something like that, I think it'll be really interesting to see what he comes up with.
Yep.
Yeah, it's just weird. Yeah, like Dr. Mass said, they have no idea what they're doing, and yeah, it's true. It's like it's like but it also could be that everything's failing. Like like there's less readers now than there was before COVID. Shops,
they're loaded in a manga now. They're like that. Yeah. That is just eating up. Oh everything.
My God! Walk into a Barnes and Noble, and it's an eye opener now.
They are crushing it right now.
And my local comic shop that I go to. I've been going there. It's been open since I was maybe 16.
Okay.
Probably before that too. So I've been seeing the gradual growth of the manga selection. Mm-hmm. So now that I go in there, there's a whole wall dedicated to just manga now.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. It was a pocket in the corner. I remember specifically, look at this manga. Oh, interesting. And then I would just look through them and put it back in a little small corner. But now it's the whole wall.
I also feel like the common reader that may have once considered a comic book is more often than not like turning to like writers subreddits where they're pretty much getting it for free. You know what I mean? And things like that. So like there's so much that we have to combat. I mean, the scope of just solely the internet alone, where there's a lot to get for free legally and illegally.
Right.
It's hard. It's so hard. Where before it's like, you couldn't rip a comic book to a digital file. You had to literally destroy the book and scan it page for page.
Yeah.
That wasn't conducive.
Yep.
If you think about it, all of that is stuff that we're combating with, and the big guys are learning how to use the smaller guys as tools and methods, and that kind of detracts from us too. When so. I never thought I'd see an independent comic book hold a panel in Hall H in San Diego, and it did with Berserker this year.
Yeah, so really, it's also got Keanu Reeves behind it, so it's a little bit. It's a beefy
book. And an indie book has never been in Hall H until and I see that as kind of a breakthrough in one way, but I also see it as the larger entity. Kind of like manipulating the smaller thing too.
Yeah, you don't need to rely on the big two to actually be big. You can be your own person.
Yeah, that's always a good thing, I guess. And like it highlights that comic, so which is actually pretty good. I don't know if you guys read it. I've been reading it. It's not bad.
I read the Don Shin spoof on it.
Yeah.
I did.
That's pretty good too. I lettered that too, by the way. To pat myself on the back, But anyways, no, but it's true. Like that's just it's kind of scary right now for the big two, and that affects us all though. If DC kind of stops publishing, and if they don't license, they got to do something because.
Or it leaves a big hole for us to fill.
There you
big
go.
hole, but like they also have to. Like if they want to hold the rights to Wonder Woman, they have to be publishing stuff.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Like, because as soon as they stop publishing Wonder Woman, the rights revert back to the Moulton family, I believe. Mm-hmm. So I'm curious what they'll do there. Like, they'll definitely have to license out to somebody if they stop publishing. Or maybe they just go down to, like, the rumors were they would just have, like, a Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman book, and that's it, But
they should go back to the Justice League cartoon and just go from that. Just publish that cartoon series. That thing was. I just picked up a trade on it. It was like Justice League Infinity.
Unlimited, right?
Yeah, but it was called Infinity now, and in the trade, and I love that book. Like I love the art.
That was is that the new one that DeMatteis did? DeMatteis?
I think so. I'd have to double check, but it's got all the art. It looks just like the TV show, and it's so much fun. That was
awesome.
A great series.
I picked up the ones that they did for Batman in the animated series.
Yeah.
And I love those.
Yep.
Yeah, it's weird how they can't write like that. Like that, both Batman and Justice League cartoons are I would say exercises on how to write a proper comic, like a proper superhero comic. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I mean, even though that
Dwayne,
second,
wasn't it?
What's that?
Wasn't that Dwayne?
Dwayne Duffy, yeah.
Yeah, he passed away, and that was like a huge loss. That man was just amazing at what he was doing, and it was
oh my god,
real
he
shame.
shined so well on those cartoons. Like we talked to him in New York, handful of years ago, and we just talked to him about Justice League, the whole time, and he was just talking about how it just, like he never made like he did make an impact in comics, but I thought his Justice League cartoon was even stronger impact.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
It's a great model. They should follow it and just stick to that. My God,
perfect. Like it was all one and dones with a little bit of a long running storyline, and it was perfect. Like the perfect way to write comics and action comics, like that. Yeah.
So even like creating Static Shock, like if you look at that, like the cover of that book, it was just so like prolific. The same way like we were just talking about Spawn #1. It was one of those things where you saw it in the shelf, you're like, oh damn, this looks really cool.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely. Dr. Mass said, I witnessed the destruction of Batman at DC. This coming from a lifelong comic and Batman fan. I may never buy another new DC comic.
Wow.
I can't blame you. I mean, they're not putting out good stuff right now. Neither is Marvel, to be fair, though, too,
Or even the good stuff that they are putting out, they're not paying enough attention to. Like, I
or it's
really
lost in the shuffle. Yeah.
Right. Like, so, like what Jared was saying about White Knight, or, I think some of the DC Black Label stuff has been really good.
Yep.
Wonder Woman book they did. I liked Batman Damned. There is some good stuff there. Just kind of lost.
It's also weird too. I never thought I'd be the guy that'd be like, oh, comics were better when I was younger. Because I used to hear that all the time when I was working at the comic store and stuff. And I was like, what are these people talking about? These comics are great,
Yeah.
And now I am that guy,
That's why I love the What If was like
elders, Keith.
Yeah,
What If was always fun because it was that was the first book I ever picked. My buddy brought it in just because in 6th grade he brought in What If the X-Men Lost Inferno.
Oh yeah,
and it's like my first introduction to like there's Wolverine
X-Men
possessed.
Or just oh nice.
Yeah, he was like skeleton and was like possessed by a demon. He's running around fighting Doctor Strange. He kills Spider-Man. I mean, like I was like, oh my God, and I ran right to the mall. Picked up 3-4 more issues of stuff, and I haven't stopped since. But
is that what got you into comics, Jared? Was that to loop it back to the original discussion here?
Yeah, it was that one there, and then of course it was the breakout with Image. Like I started out the X-Men launch.
Same with Julius, it's great.
Yeah, when Jim Lee launched the new X-Men with their new outfits and everything, beautiful work, fun story. Everything was a little more simplistic in that universe, and you could follow it very easily. I didn't feel like there was much an agenda or pushing anything. It was just a good story,
escapist entertainment.
Yeah. And then Image hit Gen 13. Pitt was, oh my God, I loved Pitt. I loved Gen phenomenal. 13. Yeah, all those different, and then like Battle Chasers came later.
Yeah, that was
the Danger Girl stuff.
Late 90s. Danger Girl,
they all like just branched.
Chaser.
That was the explosion, and that was the but the big one was like Image was the big push there in the beginning, like just all
they
cool
changed
stuff.
the game with like better paper, better artwork.
Yep.
I don't think the writing was as strong.
Yeah.
It got better later, but
it was very much trying to capture the MTV audience at the time.
It did. I mean, look at the max boobs, and all that stuff.
Big shoulder pads.
Big shoulder pads. And like beefcake heroes, big guys.
Because professional wrestling was like the biggest thing at that time. And there was what better than if you look at half the music videos, they were all grandiose.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
It was a great time. Can we go there now? Let's go back.
I wish.
Go back.
That was, you had the Onslaught. Machine. You had the what was that? The Apocalypse version with the X-Men where Xavier got killed. What was that?
Age of Apocalypse.
No,
Age of Apocalypse.
Age of Apocalypse, but also, my God. Are you talking about the Onslaught thing too? No,
Onslaught 2 was like the original Onslaught story was one of my favorites, man. Yeah. Seeing the Juggernaut crash landed, his ass completely kicked. And like, who could have stopped the Juggernaut at that time? Who could have?
And then also like at the same time, like the mid '90s was also like when kind of Garth Ennis and Vertigo was kind of in,
the Authority,
and Neil Gaiman too with Sandman and all that stuff. The Authority, oh my God, the Warren Ellis issues and the Millar ones are, oh my God, those are
the Millar ones were my favorite.
Yeah, it's no great. It's great stuff. Like
even Valiant was doing some pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, Valiant was cool too in the early
were.
'90s. Our buddy Joe St. Pierre came from there. You know,
Exo Man of War was bigger than Iron Man at that time. Like they had a video game I heard where Iron Man was in Exo's game. Like he was
Isn't
a guest
that crazy?
star. I mean,
yeah, because Iron Man was not cool at that time.
No, he definitely was.
He didn't become cool until like the movie came out. Really, if you think about it. But it's great, dude. Let's go back.
Yeah,
let's go back.
That's what we're trying, man. With these indie books, that's one of the goals is to try and get back to that good feel, that good story.
Yes, the stuff that we loved growing up, and like I see it in all of our books, like Johnny's, yours, Julius's, and it's like that trying to get back to the stuff we loved, but also channeling that creative spirit about the stuff we love. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So not to contest that, but I think the only thing I would say is that it's not that we want to pull everything back to that as much as that we want to keep those portions alive through our work.
Yeah.
You know what I
definitely.
mean? So that way it's inclusive so that there's an audience for everything, but the stuff that really worked well for us is kept alive and is made available to people who still appreciate.
Like I know I've told Johnny this, but I don't know if I've told you guys this, but like even with Mighty Mascots, I'm channeling like the stuff I grew up with, like Stan Lee, Jack Kirby, that kind of thing, into my superhero comic, and that it just works. Like I've had parents tell me like their kids, they've had to take the comic away from them because they're so, they weren't doing homework and all this
That's
stuff.
awesome.
I freaking love
That's
that.
what you want.
Yeah.
That's what you want.
Exactly. Like the kid's hiding it because he loves it so much. And he
That's
walking
great.
around the house with it the whole time. They won't put it down.
Yes,
it's like it's dinner and they're bringing it to the table.
But I don't, yes, I'm happy that it was my book, but it's like me, it's like I'm happy that I'm just channeling the creators I loved, they're kind of working through me to make this book, and like
young Keith is out there looking for your book, basically.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, have you guys had anything like that happen to you, like, or like with fans at all? Have you had anybody come up to you say like, I absolutely love this, or even like a young kid or anything like that?
I wish.
It'll happen. You know what, Julius? It'll happen when you start doing shows. I think.
WonderCon, bro. We'll see you there.
WonderCon.
I'm running up to your table.
I also have to write comics that are a bit more kid friendly because I don't write kid friendly comic books.
Well, this Vigilant Fury is definitely not. But Ghetto Dragon could function as like
No,
you don't think so? I mean,
Ghetto Dragon babies.
Maybe. Written by Alan Moore.
Yeah, right. Or Scotty Young, written by Scotty Young.
There you
go. But no, I mean, I didn't think it was. I mean, maybe I have to go back and look at it. Was it that bloody? I don't remember it being bloody.
There's a lot of curse words in it. That
could be.
It deals with a lot of things from the ghetto, from my own experience. You live in the ghetto and whatnot.
Sorry not to interrupt, but that's a 14-year-old Johnny C watching The Last Dragon. You know what I mean?
Like Bruce
Lee. I would say teenagers then.
Growing up with those
not
ninja
kids,
movies, like the Cannon Group ninja movies, Johnny. Like
hell
Into
yeah.
the Ninja and Jim Kata. You guys remember Jim Kata?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The deadly fusion of gymnastics and karate.
Oh my god!
So sorry, Julius. I did not mean to interrupt. If you want to continue,
it's all good, brother. It's all good. It's all good. No, I would say definitely teen. My book is for teens.
Okay. Get a dragon babies. They make dreams come true. And Dr. Mass said the industry needs to create new customers. That is absolutely true.
Yeah.
That's a tough thing. That's a tough thing.
Yeah, getting I've always likened it to imagine a stadium full of people and everybody's got their hand up and they're all jumping, trying to get your attention. How do you get your hand above everyone else's to get them to pick you? Because there's so many good creators. There's so much stuff out there.
That's the problem. And I think
how you do it.
Lots
of advertising money.
Yeah.
You have to be
advertising, but like being in the trenches is what I call it. Like going to shows. making people aware of you, you know, like
I've always said quality, consistency, and travel. If you can do those three things, it's not the magic bullet, but it'll get you goddamn close. You know what I mean?
Definitely. Yeah. And like the thing with doing conventions too, and like you got, I mean, Jared and Johnny know this. Julius will learn this, but like you got to be willing to like lose money too when you start out.
Yeah,
like, it's part of the, you know, it's part of the growing process of doing cons, you know, like
you gotta be the type of person to watch your compatriots do better than you.
Yeah.
And still be able to
and not be
going,
jealous,
you know?
or, you know, like, I mean, it's a whole thing, but like that is part of it too, Johnny. I think, you know, there's always someone that's like you came up with that's doing a little better, and you know what I mean, and you kind of wish you were that guy, but like if you get like that, you could kind of become like a real bitter person in the industry really quickly, I think, you know.
It's always good to support your peers, and any peer that does a little bit better, just consider that a benchmark to strive for. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah, and the best part about it is that you're friends with that person, so they'll help you up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, 100%.
Awesome. Yeah, and so yeah, that was a great little discussion about the industry and indies and cons. Yeah. You know?
Watch me pivot right now.
Okay,
ready?
Pivot, Johnny.
There he goes. There he goes. Hold on.
So doing conventions is only a part of it.
Okay.
The other half is crowdfunding. And 3 out of the 4 people in these tiles have crowdfunding going right now.
Right. Yep. And to coin our friend there, Sam Vera, like I'm constantly looking at my campaign like the NASDAQ.
Yeah.
Nice. Every minute it's like the NASDAQ, trying to figure out if things are going up, things are going down, you know. But yeah, no, definitely crowdfunding is, all of us are doing it. All 4 of us have done it to different degrees, and 3 of us have campaigns going right now, which is unbelievable. Yeah. So first of all, I wanted to talk. You guys both have comics with strong like female leads, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. I was gonna say. So talk about that for a minute. How, like, because I, you know, like I've only written one. You know, like I've had one female lead in my comic. And that's the first time I really wrote like a female character. What's that, you know, what is that like for you guys? Like, is it easier to get into like another character's skin when you're writing, or like talk about that a little bit, like writing a female character and how you approach it, that kind of thing.
Jared, would you like to go first?
Well, the funny thing is, it's I'm more or less the story and the struggles I'd like to put her through, but that guy right there is the one that's he's writing the all the female parts for me there.
Oh, that's right, Johnny.
That's right. I
forgot Johnny is your writer on that book.
Like I've got her general personality.
When you handed it off to Johnny, did you just have you written stuff before, Jared, or no?
I can write a heavy outline, and I can give you a general, like who I want her to be. Like, this is how she is. This is what her to be like.
Gotcha, but you have trouble putting it all together into
like dialogue, and I are not
like
as
a 3-act kind of
he's
thing.
very gifted. Yeah, so I let him take the helm, and he's written some really great stuff, and sometimes he'll alter it, and I love it more than what I did because, again, I'm not a writer.
That's a true collaboration right there, which is great, you know. And you get the best stuff out of like letting, you know, talking it out and, you know, hearing other points of view. So it's great.
It allowed me to learn the old Marvel method of here are the pages, here's the general idea, make it work. So
question for you guys. So does he hand you completed artwork, Johnny, and you have to figure out the story around it, or
for the most part completed artwork. Like enough is done where I can see what's going on, and only rarely will I say like, okay, well, we need to change this, or you know, we want to tweak this, or I think I had some significant changes in issue 3 in terms of, you know, things that happen and the way things play out, that I kind of rewrote the idea a little bit because it created more of a through line to the story where like Jared didn't see those dots connect, you know?
Like issue 2, I think I redid 5 pages because of that. Like he just had a better a better idea as to how it should flow. And once I looked at it, I'm like, okay, yeah, that's way better. So
Really?
like I'll redraw the page. I don't care. Like as long as it looks good and sounds good and people enjoy it, I'll put that work in. So
that's truly the Marvel process too, isn't it? That's how Stan Lee used to do with Jack.
That's
Kirby.
what I heard. Yeah, like I didn't know that, and somebody mentioned my first writer.
Rob Liefeld used to do the same thing too.
Did he really?
Oh, okay. Yeah, he would. He would have the basic plot line, and he would draw the comic, and then he'd hire a writer to add the war balloons and dialogue and narration and all that stuff.
No kidding. And but that's how like things like Silver Surfer got created, right? Because like, isn't that what? I
think almost all the great comics were created that way.
Oh my god! Yeah, you think about those days, like it's just nuts. Like, and like just handing stuff to Jack Kirby, and he just goes off and comes back with this masterpiece. You know? Yeah, it's amazing. But yeah, so that's cool. I didn't know you guys worked that way. Like, I thought Johnny wrote the script and then handed it to you. And
no, it's like because I've already got. I got 4 or 5 volumes worth of ideas, like each, because I'm working in volumes. So this one I'll get to issue 4. That's my first volume. Okay. Second volume might be 6 issues or 8 issues, whatever, works. Nice. And I've got these things mapped out in whatever order, probably 4 or 5 deep. So I've got the ideas, but it's just getting it onto paper and getting the characters fleshed out is where I needed the help. So.
And I'll always try to make a conscientious effort that if I do have to make a change, it's a tweak and not a rewrite of a page. Usually,
Right. Yep.
Sometimes you got to do what you got to do, but
So, are you in for the long haul, Johnny, for this book, or?
I know we haven't really discussed it. I mean, like I said,
we haven't really talked about it. It's just, it's more of like Jared helps me out a lot with graphic work I need, and if this is what I can do to repay Jared, cool,
Yeah, because I've put books together for him and everything. I don't care, I'll help you. You help me. It's a great setup.
No, it's good.
Yeah.
So everybody, you guys can collaborate that way.
Yeah, I want to see people succeed and everything. So
yeah, that's great. So tell me a little bit about the female character, though. Is she like the star of the book?
Yeah, she's the star of the book. She's the Wyatt, the Skinwalker bear. He comes in second issue, and they're kind of a pairing. I mean, it's all focused. Everything is hinged on her lineage, what she is, and all the technology is based kind of like the pod that Superman crashed in. They reverse engineered all that to create the group that she runs with, and they run on her power source and everything like that. So. But Wyatt's, I'd like him to be, almost like a 50-50. He's got a lot of struggle. He's got a lot of things going on deep. He's bonded to this spirit bear that's torturing him, and he's a good guy, and he's just coming to grips with the horrible things that have happened to him. And, being part of this team is going to help him get to those goals ultimately. So, yeah, it's more of a 50-50 for the most part.
I feel like the book is a lot like Hellboy or the BPRD more specifically.
Okay. It's got that feel to it, yeah.
So it's like a bunch of characters that are brought together like by
I've got witches, warlocks, aliens. There's anything you can because Gargoyles was another huge, Greg Weisman's writing where he took them on the Phoenix Gate run and they went all over the world and visited all different urban legends and creatures and everything, every part of the world. And I always love that you got to explore everybody's little mythos and their countries and their beliefs.
Yeah, it's great stuff.
And I like to kind of meld it all together and, just
and channel that like fun, that stuff you loved about Gargoyles.
Oh yeah.
Up. Yeah, definitely.
Yep.
I'd love to watch that again because I remember that was a great show.
I've been watching it again.
Is it on Disney Plus?
I've got it in a couple. I've got Blu-rays of it and everything. Yeah, it's on Disney Plus.
It is? Okay, yeah. I'm gonna give that one another whirl. Plus Keith David. How can you go wrong with Keith
So
David?
Good.
Yeah,
good. He said he's ready to do a live action anytime they say the word,
in a second. Like, they should bring that one back in 2 seconds,
Just take the Avengers tech and just move it over to Gargoyle. Yeah. You got Iron Man is Xanatos. The Hulk tech can be the Gargoyles. I mean, it's
that'd be great. Yeah.
Print money if you do it right.
Definitely. Yep. So, Julius, tell us a little bit about the female protagonist in your book. Yours looks really good, and I
thank you.
The Anthony Gambino artwork is, I mean, that kid is awesome.
Yeah, he's great. I got lucky. I got really lucky with him. funny enough, when I was developing the story, it was actually a male protagonist.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and the setting was way different. It wasn't the setting that we have now. It was way like the whole story was way different. And then as I was developing it, I usually use my wife to gauge ideas. So whenever I throw an idea at her and I get like a mild reaction, I go, okay, that sucks. That's not gonna work. So if she gives me an excited reaction, I'll go, okay, it's gonna work. Okay. Because she's not a comic book reader, she never read comics, but she still can appreciate cool ideas and like, oh, that sounds interesting. That sounds cool, kind of cool. So as I was developing the story, she just one day blurted out, "Why don't you make it into a woman? Like, why can't it be a woman?" And I was like, "A woman? I don't know how to write women though. I don't know if I could do that, And she's like, "Well, I can help you with that." And I was like, "Oh, interesting." And the wheels started turning in my head.
It becomes like a collaborative thing.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, okay, maybe that could work, And then I started, I had to scrap the whole story that I was already developing and start again. And then eventually it got to where we have it now. And the great thing about her helping me out with it was when I presented her with the ideas I was coming up with, she told me, "Oh, is this going to be like fantastical or grounded?" And I was like, "Oh, grounded." So, "Oh, that wouldn't happen. That wouldn't work." And I was like, "Oh, why not?" And it's because, the female body is built in a certain way where they can't go toe to toe with the guy. Like that's just impossible.
Right. So you like trying to find like those little angles.
Yeah. So I was like, oh, and then again, I was like, interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
So I had to go back.
That's good. That's great
and
to have somebody to bounce
off. And eventually, I finally figured out that the best approach I can have is that she has to be like a fox going up against a pack of wolves. So a fox has to use the old noggin to trick their enemies. Yes, being slick and hiding in the shadows and trick. So once I got that down, it was like, all right, cool.
That's awesome though. I love hearing that because it's like you didn't instantly go to like my woman character's awesome at everything. Like
no way.
You didn't go to that, which is great. No
way. I'm looking through the campaign right now, bro. How much did Frank Miller inspire you?
Oh, dude. that was who I was channeling when I was developing the story. I was thinking Sin City. I was thinking Frank Miller in my head.
It's very like, Sin City. Like, did you tell Anthony to draw that way?
No, dude. Get this. Really? Here's the tricky part. Okay, so when I set out the tweet that I was looking for an artist, and I of course, what happens when you do that? You get flooded with people. Check out my stuff. Check out my stuff. Yeah. And a lot of great artists, responded, but it wasn't the style I was looking for. I was looking for an Eduardo Rizzo, Frank Miller.
Totally
look.
See it, yeah.
So, I went off and, looked through the artists. I'm like, no, it's not really working out. Like, damn, man, maybe I should just forget about it and just focus on another project. And then out of the blue, I got a message from Gambino telling me, hey, I got what's his name? The guy who did Geronimo draws.
Oh yeah.
Robert Geronimo, yeah.
Yeah, he saw my tweet and he sent it to Anthony. He said, "Hey, check this out." And then Anthony saw it and went like, "Oh, okay." So he messaged me and he sent me his samples and I was looking at it and I was like, "Oh," I was like, "This is it. I think I found my guy."
This guy has it, right?
Yeah, I said, "This guy has what I'm looking for. That gritty, stark black and white, Frank Miller style." Of drawing comics. So I reached out to him and I pitched him the story. He dug it and off we went. To develop the story. And he it's the funny thing is I originally pitched it to him as a 40-page one shot and ended up with 80 pages.
That's great. Like
hold on, let me double that for you.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, oh yeah. He was not happy about that. And I told I said, look, here's what you can do. Read the script. And then if you can find pages we could cut, I'm all for it. And he read the script, took him about 3 or 4 days to read it. And he came back to me and said, "Yeah, we can't cut any of this." So I was like, "All right, cool. Let's go for it then."
Let's do it. Yeah, that's great. I mean, I love that it's 80 pages too. That's amazing. Like, because Ghetto Dragon was pretty beefy too, wasn't that? Wasn't that
a
lot
was
of
pages?
Yeah,
it was 60 pages. It was half of a 120-page
That's crazy.
book.
Oh, so you have another one coming then, huh?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
Nice.
But
Can't wait for that.
yeah, definitely, it's
Yes.
a great book.
Yeah.
Everybody out there, if you haven't read it, go check it out. So Gambino, like he actually, I don't know if Plastic City was his first show doing conventions. Was it really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, it
really?
was.
Yeah, because he drove up from New York to do my show, which is crazy. And you know, and I knew he was like an amateur because like when I saw his table, he had no tablecloth, he had no banner, I don't think, like, or he had a banner on the front or something.
Right.
But I love that about him. And like I came up, I grabbed the preview. I got the 8-page preview for Vigilant Fury from him.
Thank you for
that. I just talked to him for a little bit. What a great guy. Like, really nice
great.
dude. And then at the end of the show, I guess he did pretty good at my show. He came over and handed me one of his art books. And I was like, dude, you don't have to do that. You know, like, and he's like, no, I want you to have it. So he gave me one of his art books. And it's that thing is amazing. I was just going through it the other day, and you know, it has all his pieces in there. He's a talented artist. So it's good that you got him.
Very down to earth, very cool dude.
Yeah.
I think ever since we started working together, it's kind of grown and flourished into an actual friendship.
That's good.
Because he and I, you know, we do see eye to eye in terms of like what we want to do for comics. We want to push the boundaries. We want to entertain. We want to, you know, provide quality. You know, like we were talking about earlier, quality entertainment in comic book form. And keep that spirit of creativity alive that we experienced during the 90s when we were teenagers and growing up, and really soaking in this the amount of talent that used to be in Marvel and DC and even Image too. And so we were lucky, you know, our generation were really lucky to be right there when it was happening. And I like you guys, I soaked up all the stuff that was really well done, well presented. And also the customer service part. Like I really want, I'm surprised not many indie creators have done letter pages yet for their books.
Yeah.
Which would be fantastic. Because I love letter pages. I love reading the letters of the fans saying, you know, complaining about the issue or talking about
right.
Yeah, good or
asking
bad. I always
questions
want to
about
hear
what's
it.
coming.
Yep.
Yeah.
I dug that. And I think we should have more of that, and we shouldn't shy away from it. We should embrace the readers, you know, telling us, hey, this was
what were you
really
going to say,
good,
Jared?
you know, and,
Too?
I was just gonna say it would be tweets now instead of a full letter, right?
yeah.
Jared, what were you saying about the letters page?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like same thing. You want to hear from people, good or bad. Did you like the book? Did you enjoy it? Did you understand it? Yeah. It's like you got to know all these things, because if you're not getting your feedback, you got to take good or bad. If you're not getting it, you're not going to grow. You're not going to get better. You're not going to adapt.
And then like being able to take that bad feedback is very helpful. Like if you can take it as an artist and learn from it, you know, sometimes it's, you know, you may not agree with it, but sometimes, you know, if you hear enough of the negative thing, you say maybe I am wrong about this.
And constructive. I mean, if it's somebody coming on just like, you suck, bro. It's like, well,
yeah, right. You suck.
Like, well, thanks, dude. But
with no reason about it. Yeah.
Exactly.
Just way to stump them is like, which panel did you not like?
Yeah, right. Yeah,
exactly.
I mean, they had that not long ago. They were ripping on what was it? Captain Marvel. They were ripping on the artist for the artwork. They had her face and everything. And
oh,
like,
right, yes.
Why does she look like she's 55 years old?
Right.
You know, standing there, and she's supposed to be in her 20s. And people will jump on that and tear it up if they're not happy.
Yeah, and do they even know that the writer didn't tell the artist to do that? You know, like, I mean, maybe that came from the writer. You know, that look. You know.
Yeah.
It didn't look like it did. To be honest with you.
What'd you say, Julius?
It didn't look like it did. To be honest with you.
Yeah, maybe it didn't. I don't know.
Make her look old in this picture and worn out.
Maybe it's one of those things where the deadline was coming up and you just like, I just got to hurry this up.
Maybe.
And get out, you know?
There's a little prayer quick.
Yeah.
Like, come on, hurry. Yeah.
Hopefully the editor doesn't pick up on it, and maybe the editor didn't.
Give her half a nose.
They just lost time, you know. But there was a guy on Twitter who actually, I don't know if you guys saw it. He actually fixed it. Like he actually.
Yeah, I saw. Sometimes that's a bit of a.
It could be.
It's a bit of a kick in the face as well. It's like, okay, fine, you didn't like it, and I get it. There's always somebody better. It's just the way it is.
Oh, so that was insulting.
I don't know. Some people thought it was. Some people didn't. Like some thought it was funny. Some were like,
I didn't take it as funny. I took it as more like, oh, that's interesting. Like he's showcasing what artists should do when they want to fix, something like that. Because I mean, I'm not. I stopped reading Marvel comic books for years now, so I'm not really.
Well, which book
I guess
did they
privy
fix?
to what's going on now, because I'm more focused on indie stuff. I'm more focused on what's going on in the indie scene. Because like
Marvel
you were saying earlier,
fixed one of them. The guy handed it in, and they fixed it. They got somebody else, and they fixed it before it was even printed. And the guy opened it and was like, "What is this?" And they had messed with his artwork before.
Oh, I kind of remember something like that.
It was about the same time with the Marvel thing, and I can't think of who it was or what it was.
Feels like Marvel's kind of fallen out of the news, and DC's kind of taken over like the bad like comic press lately.
And I think it's only more because DC's in dire straits, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. They're definitely they're not swimming very well now.
No, got some good comments and questions here too for everybody. So Dr. Mass said, "I witnessed it." Oh wait, no, we saw that one already. It was this one right here. Someone once said crowdfunding is like going off to war. That is true. He also said. Kind of like the Marvel way. Yeah, I definitely do too. Oh, here's a good question for everybody. Did everyone go to school for this, or is this a hobby or passion that took over?
Ooh, good question.
Yeah, it is a good question. I know for me, I always wanted to be an artist, like a cartoonist, even when I can remember being in second grade wanting to do that. So it's changed over the years, but I've always wanted to be part of comics or comic books, so.
And you did go to school for it, Keith.
I did,
You went to the big school for it.
Yeah.
You went with Joe Kubert?
For Joe Kubert.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's fun.
Yeah, that was interesting. It was an interesting school to be a part of for at least a year,
Yeah.
Nice.
So, how about you guys though? Like, let's start with Julius.
I actually did go to school for writing.
Okay.
I wish I would have dedicated hours to draw because I do love drawing. And one of my many strong points during the editing process is that when I get thumbnails, I can, at least I'm good enough for chicken scratching, which is what I'm doing right now. I'm working on this right now, actually.
Oh, nice.
I'm doing some editing work for a client of mine.
Yeah, why not?
And I wish I would have, gone to at least learn the fundamentals of drawing, so that way I can draw my own book. But I had to stick with writing because that was the one that was more, I guess, plausible for me to do and to approach. So it was definitely a growing pains because I started trying to make comic books since I was 19 years old. And since then, it's been nothing but growing pains, learning by fire, trial by fire, I should say. And, learning what it means to be a collaborator with an artist. Yep. Do I want to be the kind of writer who's like Alan Moore, writing these long paragraphs per panel description, or do the Marvel way? And I kind of do like the Marvel way because that way the artist has a lot more room to breathe and mess around and try things out. I think the Marvel way is probably the best approach in terms of collaborative effort. So it never was a hobby for me. It was always a passion. Of me wanting to break into this industry. And thankfully we're living in the time where it's kind of decentralized now. Now it's we sink or swim. It's no longer waiting for a committee to let us know, hey, we like your book, come along. Now it's all you. Who are you? Do the readers like you? Do you like what you're offering? And again, like you guys were talking about the cons, that's another factor too. That's when your personality should shine through, and more readers will more likely, if they like you, they'll pick up your book, and then if they like the story, they'll come back and ask for more. So no, for me, it was always a passion to write. I love writing. I've always been a highly imaginative kid growing up, and writing was like the best course for me to pursue.
Oh, perfect. I love that answer.
And I have to apologize real quick, Julius. I actually thought you were doing some illustration. That's why I suggested bringing art prints to shows. So I have to apologize.
No, it's all good. It's all good. As a writer, you gotta find artists to pay, and hey, can you draw a pinup for me? How much do you charge? That kind of deal. So I'm all about trying to build my brand just like everyone else. And
Julius, I'm in the same boat in a lot of ways, where it's like I can draw, but I like my art. My art is very cartoony, and I know that I don't want that look for books that I make. So that's why I hire out artists, because I'm going in with a certain vision I want. And I know my strengths. I know I can't get that vision from myself. If I could, I would love that. So I wouldn't have to pay anybody.
Exactly.
I do it all myself. But like it is what it is, and Jared, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this too.
Yeah.
Like, what's your thoughts about, is this a hobby, passion for you? Did you go to school for art? Well,
I've always drawn. I've been drawing. I started out Garfield comic strip,
too.
just redoing that, and everything.
Nice.
Calvin and Hobbes, all that's great stuff. Went to college. I went for really graphic design and everything. Still had drawing classes. Still enjoyed it. Still loved it. I never really wanted to make a book.
Oh, really?
Until I first started doing shows, and I had people at the time. It's about 8 years ago. I wish to God I had a book, because then nobody was really doing it, and they were jumping
you doing
on it
just prints? Is that what it was?
Yeah. Well, when I first went to the show, I did original artwork, pinups, characters people love stuff. Never did a book.
Okay.
And people started asking, but to come back to it being a hobby, I have this argument with my buddy, and his whole point is it your full-time job? No. Well, then it's a hobby. It's like, well, it's not a hobby because there's also passion in it. Can you do it full time? That's the dream. That is the ultimate dream, is to just go to shows, do your art, make people happy, make money, but I guess it kind of falls in between. It stays at kind of a semi-hobby level, even though I don't like using the word, because you have so much passion in it. You love it. You want to make it. You want to, but you got to also pay the bills.
You don't want to use the H word when it comes to your taxes.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I guess it's if you can make a living at it. I mean, I never have considered it a hobby, but it is something that you've worked. I mean, I think like stamp collecting is a hobby, but this is something you're passionate. You're working hard. You want to sell it. You want to make your living on it. It's just a really tough dream to climb that hill to get to it.
Absolutely.
So, but at the end of the day, it doesn't diminish it. Doesn't make it any less. I mean, you're putting everything you have that's you into it, all the work, all the networking, going to shows, traveling, paying for stuff, losing money. It's more than a hobby. It really is. So.
Yeah, like I heard, I follow a bunch of writers on Substack, and like Scott Snyder's one of them. And Scott Snyder talked about conventions being like a workplace. And I was like, I never even thought about that. Like, because I always think of them as fun, with 50% fun, but also in the back of your head, trying to make some money. And
make money,
not lose money, things like that. Network with people.
You got to pay for your fun.
Yeah, get your email list up. But
I think that's a mentality we keep us sane, Keith. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that part of it, like. But the way I like to think of it is that, okay, are you prioritizing what you're doing over your free time? Then that's job. Are you, if you're taking free time over said job, then that's a hobby. You know what I mean?
That's true too.
That's a good way to put it. Now Johnny, I never asked you that question. How is it for you? Is it a hobby, passion?
Oh, well, I never use the H word, like I said, because the IRS. But it is obviously a passion. Otherwise, I wouldn't invest so much free time in doing so. I wouldn't do 4 shows and 4 weekends if I wasn't trying to, share my work with people and trying to do it all over the U.S. The more I can be a beacon, the better off things are in the long run. So, it's definitely classified as a side job. I had to put a label on it, but I love doing it. So when you love what you do, it doesn't feel like work. So
that's right. That's good.
That's awesome. That's great. I want to take a look at all these campaigns too.
Yeah, let's pull up the campaigns.
Yeah, so let's
let's look at campaigns.
Yeah, let's take a look, because I want to definitely. Oh, actually, before we do that, I wanted to just highlight these other comments real quick. Harry also said Keith David in They Live was pretty awesome.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, he was.
I think everyone can agree with that.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%.
My wife said one of the biggest problems with modern fiction is writers making women able to physically match an equally skilled but physically much larger man in hand-to-hand combat. So there you go. There's another female perspective on it, Julius, which is great.
Yeah, it's I really can't. I really hope it gets funded because I really want readers to read this book because I think it's a survival story through and through. It's about a woman who has a choice. Am I going to stay here in this container ship, or am I going to find a way out of here? And she decides to find her way out of there, and she understands that she's facing a small little army of heartless mercenaries.
Awesome.
So she has to put herself in that mindset of like, okay, I'm the prey, they're the predators, I got to be the predator, and they be the prey, that kind of deal. So
that's awesome.
I think I have something special here for everyone. They're going to be
getting like Nikita vibes almost. You know what I mean?
Like I said, a skilled female fighter can win, especially against a smaller and or unskilled opponent, but that's not what is being portrayed in fiction. Looking at you, prey.
Yeah,
that's the big.
I heard it's good. I don't know.
I just watched it.
It's not bad, Johnny. It's
pretty awesome. A few
not bad
parts that were a little like, but I'll allow it, kind of thing. Where
yeah,
it was like,
it's
it was
just
so
one
good.
of those things when you watch it, it's like, this is like what the 8th Predator movie now, and it's like it's just
she was
the
badass
same
Legion,
thing again.
She was really good in this movie. Like I thoroughly
I love that
pretty much
girl on
everybody
Legion.
in it.
She was great on
awesome
Legion
Legion
too. If you haven't seen Legion, amazing show, best comic-based show if you ask me. And then her final thought was, "Every day is a vacation when you love your occupation."
There you
That's
go.
true.
Well said.
And
well
it
said.
rhymes.
Well
yes,
said.
it does. She's very talented.
Yes, Amy is amazing at her artwork. And you guys have seen it.
Yep.
All right, so let's take a look at Vigilant Fury first of all.
Nice.
1406, a goal of 3,000, and you got 9 days left.
Yep.
I think you can get there.
I hope. I think we can too. It's just a matter of grinding. It's a matter of getting the word out. But at the same time, I also understand that times are tough at the moment.
Yeah.
So I have to keep that into account. I'm not too worried about it because Anthony and I already discussed, alternative routes in the case it doesn't get funded.
Gotcha.
So, like I said, it's been great to be working with Anthony. He's a great partner, art-wise, artistically, and business-wise. He has a very sharp acumen for business when it comes to selling comic books. So.
Awesome.
Yeah, if we get funded, then it's good. We're good to go, and that will be the road ahead to finish the 80 pages. He has, I think, 23 pages done. I think.
Oh wow! So he's already chugging right along.
Oh yeah. He's churning them out, but I think right now he's kind of waiting to see how we're gonna do with the campaign.
He's got a good sense of storytelling. Just looking at the pages.
He's I'm telling you, he's sharp. He makes my job easy. He just puts
That's a nice layout, sir.
Did he say that Eduardo Rizzo was one of his influences?
Oh yeah,
that's what I see right here.
Yeah,
this looks like they ripped this right out of 100 Bullets.
Oh yeah, he's all about Rizzo, Frank Miller, Frazetta. Frazetta's another one of his favorites.
A lot of the flat. There's a lot of flat contrast there. It's real nice.
Yeah,
Yep.
I love the black and white too.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were going back and forth in the beginning if we want to do in color, and then we decided, you know what? Given the content, given the story, let's just keep it black and white. It'll be cheaper. It'll be cheaper to print, and then B, it's something unique. It's something that fits the story that we want to tell.
Yeah.
So he did a phenomenal job. And the funny thing too is that I thought about the idea of ink wash.
Yeah.
And I never bothered to ask him. And then he did that piece for Spence.
Spencer, yeah.
Yeah, and
right there. That's very cool right there.
Yeah, it is cool. I like
that. Once I saw this page, I was like, we're good. This is gonna be a great book.
It's just pulling you right down. She's at the back there. She's the center
like the
point.
focal point. Yeah,
Yep.
Your eye goes right to her.
Yep, that's a nice page.
Julius, can you share some of your contingencies if you don't hit?
Yeah, like what's the backup plan here? We hope you hit, and hopefully we can.
Believe it or not, it's so funny the changing landscape in the marketplace. You know,
Right.
back in the day, it was age demographics, right? We want to hit a 18 to 25 demographics or 18 to 35, whatever the case may be. Now I'm starting to notice it's more of a ideological, I guess, demographic in a way. Because the reason why I say that is because I've been noticing a lot more readers responding to this who are on the I don't want to say it, but it's the left side of the spectrum as opposed to the center right. I'm getting more...
no, you could say it here. I mean, I know what you're talking about. Like, it's like Comicsgate and anti-Comicsgate.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
And like... I think this would have done better if I launched it on Kickstarter. I'm being honest with you.
Yeah,
so
you might have a point. I don't know. Like, that could be something to try. Is that the backup plan to maybe try Kickstarter?
The backup plan so far is, refund if it doesn't get funded.
Yeah.
And focus on shorts. So he and I are going to still work together and produce short stories, 5 to 6 page short stories.
That's good.
And then relaunch probably in January or February after the holidays and all that stuff because,
Could you take the 80 pages and break it up into smaller issues?
I was thinking about doing that too. That's still up in the air. That's still
like if you could find a logical point where the story breaks, like if there's a scene transition or something, even if it's not quite like a cliffhanger, you could probably do something like that.
Oh yeah, that's definitely on the table. But I think right now, on top of the list is focusing on producing short stories. He and I producing short stories to kind of get readers' attention with our ability to tell a good story. So that way, when we do relaunch, they'll know. Oh, yeah, that's right. Julius Freeman and Gambino, they always produce good stuff. So I'm gonna back this now. So that's the plan so far. If it doesn't get funded.
So you're offering prints there that aren't even part of the book or anything. Like I saw the Alien Queen there.
Yeah.
Like it's just a print, like a special.
Yeah. So Gambino, he's so gracious, man. Like when he pitched me what he wanted to do for the perks, I kept asking him, "Are you sure you want to do this, man? Because this is a lot of work for you." And he's like, "Yeah, I'm okay with this." So part of the perks is that he's gonna offer. He offers a what do you call them?
Commission.
A commission piece. Little, I guess, like small little card size, commission pieces. And this what you're looking at right here, there's a perk where he offers a 9x12 commission piece.
Oh, wow.
And if you back it, then you can tell him what you want him to draw before the date. Where once the date passes, the due date, if you don't tell us anything, then he's going to draw someone from the book, a character from the book, and just do that. But that's what he's offering. He's offering original commission pieces.
Anybody out there with an indie comic that wants a commission of their character, that's a perfect thing to do.
Yeah, he has a logo bundle as well. So that's if you back the book.
These are all
this one,
logos he created.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, nice.
He creates his own logos, and so if you back that one, he'll produce a logo for you if you have a book coming out.
Oh,
I loved the Red Goblin logo. That was really cool.
Yeah, all three of these are great.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, extremely talented, well versed.
Yeah, this guy's gonna be up to his neck in work soon. Like, I can just see it right now.
Yeah, but he's ready for it. He's hungry. He's hungry. He's determined, willing to put in the time and the effort, and he really wants to, leave his mark. And that's why I love working with him, because he really is pushing to give the reader more than what they're going to get for just a book. So
I love that too. Like when you guys when you have a crowdfunder and you do that, rather than trying to rip people off and just giving them the book and charging like over how much it's worth, like,
give them extras and stuff to feel like your money was worth something.
Absolutely.
Thank you for backing my book.
Yeah.
Here's
definitely. A little something extra on the side, and if you don't back it, people who, just pick the book up later, you miss out on that stuff. So the people who did back feel, hey, I did something. I got, I helped him out and I got something cool out of the deal. And,
absolutely.
Definitely.
Chalk it up to sweat equity at that point, right?
Right. So this you have this as the feature, which sounds like it's probably the best deal. Like you get the commission and the book. Is that how it works?
You get the commission and the book. And
great...
again, you could ask them to draw whatever you want before a certain date that we're going to decide in the near future.
9x12, so it could be
9x12.
Is it black and white?
It could be black and white or ink wash.
Ink wash, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah,
and as you can see,
cool.
this alien's amazing. Like, and I've been to
nice.
Anthony's website. He's got some like the Blood Realm piece he did for Robert Geronimo is unbelievable too. And down here, I saw the one he did for Spencer, which is this one for their new Camp Rainbow book.
Yeah, when I saw this piece,
I love that.
I was like, "Hey, were you able to do ink wash the whole time?" And he's like, "No, actually, that was the first time I ever tried it." And I was like, "What the hell, dude?"
Let's take a look and see if the amount's gone up since we've been talking here. Oh yeah, look at that!
Oh,
you
got
nice, very nice.
Thank you for the bump.
Yeah, that's great.
Very good.
And so is how long is the video, Julius? Is it?
It's a long trailer. I kind of overdid it.
Okay.
So, all right. What I can do is I can share a shorter version that I have here on my.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Let's do that.
However, there's something weird with the copyright issue with the song. I chose a copyright-free song, but for some reason YouTube still strikes the video, even though the person who made the song gave permission. All he asked for was credit, and I always copy and paste the credit on the description of my YouTube channel.
As like a copyrighted thing. Is that what it is?
Yeah. Like it's weird. I don't know. Maybe I have to email them and say, hey, is there like another way I have to do this because I'm still getting strikes.
How does it play without music, or is it like?
Yeah, the music is important factor.
Gotcha.
So
we'll do it. Let's see what happens. All right,
I'll give you a second. Let me pull it up here.
So if it strikes us, then whatever. They're gonna be taking away my precious advertising money that I don't have.
All right, I'm sharing. I shared it with you, so you could share it if you like.
Take a look. Here we go. I like it. I could see why the music was so important.
Yeah, that was
So
cool.
cinematic.
Gives it a very
Thank you.
right.
Appreciate that.
Very grindhouse kind
so
of feel
good.
to it, which I
Julius
like.
explicitly writes comics for me. It's like
The music was
That's
cool,
the
too.
goal,
That was
man.
nice,
That's the goal.
it's for real, dude. It's like you write them specifically for me, dude.
That's great.
Awesome. It's great to hear. Thank you for that.
All right, yeah, and now let's. So you recommend like the featured tier? Everyone should check
The
that
featured
out.
tier is if you really want something special from Gambino, because he's not going to do this again. This is the only time he's going to do it. The next time he does this, the prices are going to go. They're going to go up.
I believe it. Yeah.
So he, like I said, he was very gracious with his time, because I know that's going to take him a lot of time to draw all that stuff if they back it. Yeah. So he's ready for it, but. That's why I always say get on it, guys. Don't sleep on it, because if you do, the next time Gambino does a project and you like the stuff he's doing for whatever his own book or another story, then he's not going to offer those same prices anymore.
Oh yeah,
so
I believe
get on it
now.
now.
And this guy's on the rise, definitely.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, definitely, I agree. All right, perfect. Let's take a look at Advent Dark number 3 as well.
Number 3.
Yeah, this is great. And I brought this up.
It just moved too. Somebody.
That was
nice.
Me. That was me. I was
nice. I know. I got to get over to yours too. There.
I finally pulled the trigger. I got all 3, so I could finally catch up.
That's what I have. I have a bunch right now. I'm like waiting on still. Just everybody's. It's like, when's it due? It's like 25.
Yeah, right?
Okay.
Of course.
So it's like I got some people that are super fantastic. They're always there supporting.
But you never know when you wish they would back right away so you can get that wave.
Yeah, because then you're like, the number needs make it look bigger.
Yeah.
Right. It's like it's gonna hit. I know it's gonna hit, but it's like, but like you said, times are tough. People, when payday rolls around, I get it. Mm-hmm. It's cool.
Definitely.
It doesn't need to be blowing through the roof to, the first week and a half, 2 weeks in. But
look at these comments too, Julius. Love that page with the ship on the water.
Yeah,
Ben, thanks for joining us, Ben. Thanks for joining us.
What's up, Ben? Ben's such a cool dude. I really like Ben.
Yeah, I like Ben too.
That was
Roger Morocco.
Cool.
That was wicked cool.
Thank you, Roger. Thank you.
Roger.
That's awesome.
He's a good guy there, Roger.
Jared, so walk us through Advent Dark number 3. Like I'll scroll down here and tell us. So this is the 3rd issue in the series. How long do you envision the series to go?
Well, like I said, I got one more after this. I plans on a trade. I've been talking. I've got 3 to 4 short stories going in the back that are going to kind of, highlight what's going to be coming. So, they're going to be pointing toward new stories, new volumes that are coming out. So I'm just setting the stage for everything. But this one here, Danny and Wyatt are out on their first mission. I have an ash can that was a 2.5, and it puts them in Scranton, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
And that links to number 3. They end up in Scranton. There's an alien infestation. They're doing their thing. And these bounty hunters just show up out of nowhere. They've been tracking this whole time. They've been like the little boogeyman that's been sneaking up, and it's going to imply a far greater reaching problem that's on its way. But for right now, we just get there.
These what are these creatures?
They're just alien. They're just alien bounty hunters, but they got damaged. So here they found out where they can kind of a primitive version of what they're running on, and it gives them the ability to kind of regenerate and make themselves a little.
I love the design.
Thank you.
Them. They look great.
Yeah, it's pretty wild, dude.
Yeah, that was that back there is like the digital, the new digital thing. That's a mystery box.
So how does that work? Is it like you get a digital thing to your email, and it's
like I'm going to end up putting artwork in there that you've never seen. I might put stuff in there that I've drawn personally that have nothing to do with the book, but I'm not telling you what it's going to be.
Oh,
it could be anything.
It's like a little
I like that.
What is it? Those things they do, not a Funko Pop, but like
the box. Give me the box.
Like a mystery box.
Yeah, it's like a mystery box. It's the same thing, but it's just a digital version. So no shipping, no printing, no nothing. You just
It's a good idea. It's not a bad idea.
And it gets you extra artwork. I can make backgrounds, stuff for your phones or your tablets, computers, whatever.
That's a cool idea.
So,
very cool.
But
and this is all the tiers, the different rewards.
Yeah, I've got like a heavy metal version that I did, which I absolutely love. Yeah, I had like a couple different designs. That's the one I settled on, but I got the logo to look like theirs, and that was fun. And I've got Kyle's back for another one. Kyle's always a big, so people love Kyle. Kyle's work flies off the,
Very cool. And this is all add-on stuff too that you can add on at checkout.
Yep, you get a one of one sketch card. You get a beer koozie. Beer koozies are a drink koozie, I should say. Maybe you don't drink beer, but
is this the logo of the group or whatever? Or
it's actually later on. I'm gonna have it. Where probably the next volume you get more in depth into things, but the logo is actually on the pod that landed.
Cool.
So
like
that's
awesome.
But
Johnny, what do you anything to add to the campaign that you want to talk about? Like,
I was just going to say that the story, aside from the comparisons I made earlier, and it's also kind of tough. Like, I feel modest a little bit.
Why is that?
So it's tough to like. As much as I love it, I love this story. I love Jared's work. It's almost like I feel a little modest in talking about it, but.
Well, you are part of the creative team, you know. Like, you are part of it, so I like to hear what your thoughts about.
Yeah, man, share them, dude. Don't be shy.
So specifically on this one, the book, like I said, it kind of reminds you of Hellboy.
Okay.
But and I know this is a cartoon that both Jared and I love. Have anybody seen Final Space?
Oh, I love Final Space.
I've never seen that, but I've seen commercials
Get
for
on
it.
It's so good.
It's so
a comedy, right? Like,
well, so it's got comedy-esque elements, but it's also got that like, and Jared's style is a little bit like slightly cartoonish, but it's a serious story, you know. So it's like,
oh, is it really? I thought it was like mostly comedy, huh? Interesting.
You missed up on a couple episodes. Like, you literally are like, this is deep. Like, this is not what I was expecting, and it was it was a great show. Yep.
And I think that's how this story and this book kind of takes you by surprise in that way. Is that the light style of Jared's character designs, can kind of disarm you. And then you're reading the story and you're like, oh, like this gets a little bit deeper. There's a story thread I just picked up on that isn't kind of on the overt level, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Ben says nice color work on this book.
Nice.
Jared's an awesome colorist.
Yeah, it's not too bad. It's a lot of time, and that's, I think, the next round. If I draw it, I definitely will be looking for a colorist. I'd even look for a letterer, you know. So, I mean, Keith, you do lettering, don't you?
I do, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm available.
I recommend
networking.
He does do great work. It's time. It's all the time you put in.
It's
I do the layout, the graphic design, the
that's what it
coloring,
is.
Drawing,
and then when as you get more involved in it, it's like you got to let stuff go, you know.
And that's I hate to do that. So I mean, if I can get,
it's like relinquishing control of your baby, you know.
Yeah,
to a little bit, but you have to, because as you get more involved, it's like, I can't do this anymore, so you have to find somebody you can trust with it, you know.
Right.
I will tell you this: whenever I get involved with a lettering project, I bring 110% to the table.
I believe it.
Accurate. Plus, you think of it this way, Jared. That now becomes part of Keith's lettering portfolio. So, Advent Dark would then exist, as a beacon somewhere else on a professional scale. You know.
Yeah.
Definitely. I've even got right now in my head, I've got at least 2 or 3 other books in this universe that I plan to branch off.
Oh, really?
Because I've got one that's like a supernatural horror. Like, I want to go more horror on that one.
Right, but it's all linked together. And
it's all in this universe, right?
That's cool. I like that.
Yeah, so I've got a few.
When you start thinking along that level, like the potential that you can grow your level. How's the trailer for this? Is it long?
No, it's
short.
Yeah, I
keep
about 30 seconds.
Yeah,
after I saw his, now I'm like, I should have went longer. But
no, shorter's good. Like, I think if I try to keep mine about a minute, because it's like, the attention spans in the world.
That's
today.
good rule of thumb.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that I didn't follow myself.
We have a voiceover in this one. Allison Shepard, she's another artist. She works on a book as well, and it's she's out of Penn State. I met her.
Okay.
And I was looking for somebody to do just a little voiceover work, and I thought, let's see. And she did a fantastic job. So this one's got a little extra to it. So
all right, perfect. Let's take a look.
Okay.
What had started out as a simple snuff and retrieval became a full-blown pain in my ass. I don't know where they came from or why they're after me, but I'll be damned if I let them take us down.
Great trailer, Jared.
No,
Yeah.
so good.
Yeah, that was AJ Nutter too. He's a whiz at that stuff too. He's a good time. So
That's
I like
great.
that. I really like that ass shot. That was really nice.
Yeah. Yeah, right? You don't see those much anymore.
No, not as much.
Great.
yeah, that's Kyle's very cheeky. Yeah,
Yeah, I love it.
And
I love
got
it. Like,
another,
but there's a market for that, right? You know,
I
like
can't pronounce his name. It's like I'm terrible with it, but the Rinculevirit, he's gonna kill me. I can't pronounce it. He did the other Wyatt cover, and that thing was just absolute, just a bear. I had 4 different versions to choose from, and I could not choose. That was a tough one, but he absolutely knocked it out of the park on that one.
Yeah,
So,
that was a
kind of
tough
funny.
one.
I saw
Some of the
a
good choices.
meme the other day about like we were just talking about. It was like 2 kids like doing go-kart racing, and there's one that's like winning, and it says a comic book that's well fleshed out with, you know, a great storyline, and then there's the second kid on the go-kart coming around the corner about to pass him, and it just says a comic book with titties. And I was like, if that couldn't describe the comic industry to a T, I don't know what could.
I've seen a bunch like that now where that's all it is on the cover, and I'm like, it's great. Yeah. It's, oh my God, some of the work is absolutely
People
gorgeous.
are bringing it back, you know?
But if you get into the book, and the book is like, it's like, you sold the cover great, but you
want something more than that in the book.
You need a little substance. Yeah.
That was a lot of the 90s though too.
Oh,
it was, yeah. That is a
yeah,
product
but
of the
I mean,
90s.
you can't really compare J. Scott Campbell with like some of these artists today. I mean, Danger Girl was a pretty phenomenal book.
I said it was big boobs, big guns, big back or big shoulders, or packs, whichever one you want to look at. They were life-filled with packs.
Roger of Morocco says, Jared, you never cease to amaze me.
Thank you, Roger. He's like awesome. I say, he's a good dude.
He is.
He's
Roger's
always
great.
Singing me praise
Roger.
there.
I love, and DS Cartoon says that trailer looks cool.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Okay, yeah, that one was a lot of fun.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's great. And so Jared, what would you recommend for this Kickstarter? Like, what's the tier that you would want?
Well, if you scroll down, I think it's look at mine.
This is the one I just did because I have not read 1 and 2, so I did the
it's the late to the party.
Yep, I like physical books, so I wanted the physical copy. So
but if you're looking for everything, I mean, you got your bottom one there, which is the big tier. And that's that's what 13 covers. You get the all the
you get
add-ons.
all the variants.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
You get
this one
variants.
Right here,
you get the ash can. As I said, if you want the ash can is 12 pages. It's a neat little tie-in. I've got a cameo of one of the awesome workers up at the Scranton shop, Comics on the Green. They're pretty great. I put her into the book. So, I mean, there's neat.
Jared, you have that as an add-on, right? If people want to scoop that.
It's funny. I don't know if I do, but I can't. It's an easy enough to add in, which I think I will.
Hey, you should just to hedge the bets a little bit.
Right.
Why not? Put everything you can.
Or
I got to go back and do a few little things too to my campaign to just add a few things.
I thought a stretch goal, but again, we're moving slow enough. It's like it was kind of like, are we going to hit a stretch goal? And sometimes I'm like, if we hit a part and I'm feeling happy, I just throw stuff into the boxes anyway. I don't, because I'm thankful that people came out and, even if you didn't buy it, maybe you did buy it, maybe you get a little something extra in there. I'll throw whatever in. But
yeah, why not?
I
like
I mean, there's
especially,
even the we have
when you're trying to win over readers, like that. Yeah. All that little stuff makes a difference.
Yeah. I even have a limited print copy in there. It was a limited print, the Saratoga exclusive. We got some of those left over, so I threw some of those in on the 11 tier.
So this one big tier gets you everything you have.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That's all
great.
the.
You get all the covers. You get all the tchotchkes. That's really cool. It's not
Good
bad
price
For just over $100. It's not bad.
Yep,
It's
you
not
get
bad at
get
all.
all the add-ons, everything I've got in there. So you get the keychain, sticker, print, the koozie, all the extra. You get the sketch card. So I do a sketch card for people who I've got for the first 10 that were physical backers. They get a sketch, things like, or they get a print, I believe, whatever it was. Can't remember what
Jared, did you do the mailer box?
I have them, but I haven't done the printed mailer boxes. But I do have stickers coming in. Like that was the one thing I wanted to do was get like fully printed mailer boxes. But I think I might wait on those until I do the big
I would say,
trade.
Worry about the book, and then like all those other little tchotchkes will come. Like
when I do that big trade,
stuff
that's
like
going to be it. It's going to be the book. I'm working on getting a figure made as well. I would really like to get toys, some kind of little statuette, whatever you want to call it. That's also on the list here, and that's for the end of all this as
I'm
well.
looking into that too right now.
Are you gonna use the actual like a toy maker or a 3D printer?
Well, there's two. I've checked with one who she's absolutely amazing. I've seen her do stuff for Thor and everything. She's professional, like right up there.
Wow.
Fully hinged, movable character. There's another group I'm looking at that you send them a picture and they will model it from the picture. And they're very good on pricing as well. So, if you're going to do that,
I could ask, I'm doing some stuff. I'm actually in the process. I'll probably have it for the next campaign, but I'm in the process of remember the muscle figures? Like in the 80s, like the wrestling. Yeah. I'm working on those for Mighty Mascots.
Those are fun.
Making all 8 mascots as those muscle figures. And I do want to do the package with the little guy, like on the muscle figures that they used to have. And it's going to be cool.
Like a flexing boxer bear.
Yeah.
That would be fun to have those little figures. And that's stuff you can put on your desk. It feels cool.
People love that. Those little tchotchke things,
Yeah. That's fun stuff to have.
It's more available to do now than it's ever been, too. That's the other fun thing,
Yep.
But yeah, this looks great. I'm going to share both your links into the chat. I know my wife already shared the Vigilant Fury one, but let me share it again. And we're coming on 2 hours, which I can't believe it's already been 2 hours.
It flew by.
Time flies when you're having fun, man.
Dude, man, I had talked to you guys forever. It's like we get into these subjects and then like even when we look at the campaigns, it doesn't become like, oh, here's this campaign again. You know what I mean? Like we're into it. We're all talking about it. We're all like, taking a look and having a good time. Even the chat loves looking at the trailers and everything.
Yeah.
So, I hope you guys will check these guys out. And back their books, help them get to their goal.
Yeah, we can keep doing it if you do that. So
that's the thing.
And thank you for those who did back it during the show.
Yeah.
So thank you for that.
And one other thing I want to say too is both these guys deliver. I know Julius has delivered his campaigns and Jared as well. This is the 3rd issue, so
my book's done. It's just sitting waiting to be whoever will,
So like the books are going to come out. Like it's not going to be like, oh, you buy this one independent issue and you never see the next one. You know what I mean?
No, that's a horrible.
There's a lot of that going around.
Oh my god, that's
and I think that's maybe that's part of the burnout. I think maybe so many people have been burned. They're like, I don't want to back another crowdfunding campaign. I didn't get my other ones, so
it's hard to like back the ones that are the first time and you're like, is this guy gonna come through?
Right.
It's the second time around if they've learned, right, and they improve. You got to give them at least 2 chances. The third time, that's where it's a
little rough. And Johnny, I mean, it's your first time doing it, but you've delivered like. I mean, there's a few that you still need to deliver, but you're waiting on something. But you delivered like 90% of your campaign already.
Yep, I have 2 tiers yet to fulfill, plus some add-ons. Some people I had a pre-order for issue 3, which Joe's still illustrating that, and then like I've said in previous episodes, I made the mistake of promising new content, which took a lot longer to produce than I expected. So that's what left this tier open essentially. But
but as long as you're updating people will understand.
You got to keep on the updates.
As a matter of fact, Jared did an interior cover for that new content. Jared, do you have that available by any chance?
Oh, really? That's cool. I want to see that.
Can you pull that up?
Yeah,
This is the new cover. This is a new cover for Surrounded by Death, Johnny.
It's a cover for the epilogue short story that's going to go in the back of Volume 1.
Oh,
and
cool.
It's a spoof cover of something that we had on ICR Bits recently.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And
hold on.
It's a new character that's completely off the wall for Surrounded by Death.
This is the one I've been fixing. Is that the one you're talking about?
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Is there a done copy or no?
I am all finished except for we still have to do the little corner there, and we have to add in, I think, some text.
Is it enough that we could show it?
Oh yeah,
100%.
Hold
it's
on,
only just a little bit of lettering and images that need to be in place, but the majority of it is for the most part done up.
Yeah,
so
let's take a look.
I sent it to your Keith. I sent it to your messenger there.
All right, let me see. Is that in the private chat or to? Oh, okay, into Facebook. All right.
Yeah, I just sent it there quick because I'm on 2 different computers here.
Gotcha. Hang on, let me see.
I didn't trust the Mac.
We're just digitally bouncing everything around.
Yep.
Of course, I'm not logged into Facebook here. Hang on. On this computer.
But this is a prime example. Whenever somebody's like, "Oh, well, are you're working for Jared, but there's no kind of monetary exchange." Well, I kind of write for Jared, and then I get like sweet little interior covers and things like this image that's coming up here.
I don't even know my Facebook password.
Oh, geez. You may send it somewhere else? I don't know.
Are you able to... Let me see. Where can you... Can you share your screen? Do you have it open on your screen?
No, because it's on a separate computer. It's like, can I send it to Johnny?
Oh, that's fine. We can skip
it for
Johnny,
if he sends it to you, you could... Oh, wait, I can't get a Facebook, but you can email it to me.
Yeah, I can email it to you right now real quick. If you send it to me, Jared, on wherever, Facebook, whatever you want to do.
Here it comes.
I feel like we're stalling so hard. So
it's okay though. It's worth it.
Suspense is killing us. Yeah.
It's a fun cover. It's worth a couple of minutes here. Just wait.
Send it to my Hotmail and I'll pull it up.
I don't even think I have your Hotmail.
No, Johnny.
Oh,
the last guy that's still on Earth. That
should be. Did you get on your phone there?
You literally texted it to me.
Oh my God, am I emailing it? What am I doing?
No, that's fine. I'm doing the show from my phone.
Oh, dude, you're killing me. Okay.
Talk amongst yourselves. I'm gonna get this right over to Keith. So y'all gonna have to buy some time real quick.
Johnny, do you have it though? Do you have it?
Yes, I absolutely do.
Yeah, email it to.
I'm even emailing it to you now, just in case. Or I mean, it's. There we go. It's sent to you in
Johnny
email.
Froze. Johnny, you still there?
I know.
I'm still here.
I forgot he was on his phone.
From my phone, so
I'm so sorry.
Hang on.
Keith, we're waiting for this image. Anybody? Do you guys have?
It's in your email,
else?
Keith.
All right. Perfect. Anything else to say about your crowdfunders while we're waiting for this image from Johnny, and then we'll wrap up the show.
Just if the readers out there who are truly, I guess, feel like the quality has gone down in their favorite books, don't hesitate to look at indie, because that's where the quality is kind of going to. It's going down to the I guess the common man, right? The ones who are trying, who are hungry, who are ready, and are ready to showcase what we have as artists and storytellers. So if you truly are a comic book reader and you love comics, take a peek at indie every once in a while. You can still buy your Marvel and your DC and your Image books and your Dark Horses and what have you. You can still get those, but every once in a while, come on down here to the indie scene and you'll see just how much talent and skill is here in this sea of like artists and writers who are hungry and ready and willing to put their stuff out there.
And it's still about entertaining. Like I
exactly,
agree. Like it's still about entertaining. And I just got the cover. I agree. This is worth the wait. This is great, guys.
Oh, nice, nice.
So I'm gonna pop it up right now. That is awesome, John.
There it is.
Oh, dude, nice.
So, Jared, you drew this? This is
Yeah,
great,
yeah,
man.
we based it off of that old G.I. Joe cover.
Yeah, it's
there.
great. We were
Yeah.
just talking. Now I know what you're talking about, Johnny. Where you're saying we just talked about this on the show.
Yeah.
That's great. I love
Yeah.
it. You did the G.I. Joe thing and the logo and everything.
That's where the graphic design comes into. Yeah,
that's great.
Yeah, so
Awesome.
we just have a few things to fill in there, but General Spoof, and that's a character we're introducing in that short story. That's like
Okay.
the most like think when Michonne showed up in Walking Dead.
Yeah, I love it, dude. I love it.
She was like this weird, like this thing. It's like, what the hell is this all about? So we have this battle mime that we came up with that shows up in the short story. That's kind of a joke.
I love this too, right here.
But yeah.
I'll tell you, I was happy with that little zombie head I just threw him in.
Yeah,
Like,
it's great. I love
Yeah,
it.
he was a good time.
What's going to go up here? The two main characters?
Possibly, yeah.
Okay.
I
forget
just
their
basing
name.
off
I'm
that old
blanking on their
Marvel
names.
design. Yeah.
What's that? Yeah. I would. You know what Marvel homage I would love to do on a comic at some point is remember that month where they did just like the character's big head in the middle, and then along the sides were all the different other characters. It was like the Marvels like go to school and get your portrait day or something.
Yeah,
That's right.
Yep.
I would love to do a parody of that or a homage to that. I think that would be a lot of fun. That looks great though, guys. I can't wait to see that in print. Or the final product. It's a little sneak peek for those that are waiting for Johnny's book. It's great.
Yep.
That's a fun time. I like doing stuff like that.
Roger, the Four Stooges.
Thanks, Roger.
And Amy said, "Fantastic." That's great. Awesome. All right, guys, we've been going. We're over 2 hours now, so let's start to wrap up. I'm gonna go around the room real quick. Tell people where they can find you, follow you, that kind of stuff, and I already put the links in into the chat, and I'll put them. I'll go tomorrow and I'll put them into the description as well. Just make sure people can back you guys. So go. You can start with Julian. Julius, where can we find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Elucid Comic. It's right there at the bottom of the screen there, and you can also follow me on. You can subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's Julius Freeman Comics, where I currently am conducting interviews with fellow comic book writers.
Oh, cool.
Kind of picking their brain, finding out what they're all about. So you guys, I'm gonna hit you up, guys, soon about that and record it and put it out because I've been learning so much from interviewing all these different writers who have different approaches to what they do with their comics. So it's been definitely a school for sure. And you can also follow me on Instagram, ElucidPRD. And there, I post my stuff there as well, and clips and stuff that I enjoy. So you can follow me there.
I'll have to see if I'm following you on everything there. I know I'm definitely following you on Twitter, but I'll have to double check about Twitter, the YouTube channel and the Instagram.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I know I follow you. I know I'm subscribed to your channel.
Okay. Yeah, let me make sure I'm reciprocating that. How about you, Jared? Where can people find you?
Everything is like on Facebook. I'm Darkstream Studios, and of course Advent Dark here, which is at the bottom. Same thing for Instagram. There's a Darkstream Studios and Advent Dark, and Twitter is actually JDB Illustrator. That one was a little different at the time, but so that's my handle on there.
I think I'm following you on most of that stuff, but I'll double check as well, make sure I'm...
Yeah, there's even adventdark.com if you want to go and take a peek around there. It's still...
What is it?
Adventdark.com. Yeah, there's still some updates and things I got to change around. It's just in between everything else when you have all
your social time there too, the social links there?
Oh, yeah. Yep, there's social all over. Yep.
So that's sometimes easier. Like if you guys can't remember everything, just go to adventdark.com and follow Jared from that point. Anywhere on there. Johnny, how about yourself?
Well, I mean, people know where to find me bi-weekly Wednesday nights right here next to Keith. So what I did want to do is just take this moment to make sure that you back Mighty Mascots on Indiegogo.
That's right.
Back Vigilant Fury on Indiegogo. Back Advent Dark on Kickstarter. These are all wonderful books. They're awesome campaigns. They come with a bunch of really cool extras and add-ons and all sorts of features. Give it a shot and just be excellent to one another.
There you go.
Awesome. I love
well
it.
said.
Thank you.
Yeah, I am going to say the same thing. Back these two wonderful guests that we've had.
Thank you.
Both have great campaigns, and then check out mine as well. You know, it's a lot of money to put in, but us indie guys, we give you 110% of a product, whereas Marvel and DC just don't give two shits about you.
They'll just reboot it in 2 months.
Yeah,
exactly.
We love our characters. We want to give them a good story. We're not going to cheat them. We're not going to,
absolutely.
And we're all about escapist entertainment. No agenda really in any of our books. It's just comics you grew up with, you know.
Yeah.
So,
Thank you guys for taking the time to come on to the show too. You know.
Yeah.
I know
for having us. I love doing it.
Free time's hard to come by, so you know, for taking a little bit of time to spend with us, we greatly appreciate it.
Yeah, definitely. And thank you everybody in the chat that joined us tonight.
Yeah.
I know there's a million chats going. And Harry said, "Don't forget the boobs." Yeah, definitely. If we learned one thing tonight, is to don't forget the boobs.
Issue 4, we're already talking about a swimsuit cover.
Oh, there you go.
For issue 4, yeah.
I think Advent Dark does need a swimsuit issue.
Yeah, we're gonna have a swimsuit cover.
Yes. Definitely. So, all right. Well, everybody in the chat, thanks for joining us once again. We appreciate having you guys here and joining in with our discussion as always. And we always love having our guests as well. Check out the channel. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, please do. It helps us grow, helps us get into that little YouTube algorithm and get into more feeds. Check out the videos that I've been doing on the channel. Like I just did a Terrificon AfterCon report and all that. So check that out. I do videos about, setting up at conventions. I do fun stuff like that. Informational stuff that you can use, So, all right, everybody, that's it for our plugs. We'll see you in 2 weeks when we're back. And read some comics.
Yes.
All right, everybody.
Get some comics.
Have a good night, and we will talk to you soon.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.